What's going on, everybody? Welcome to TeamBoydTV presents Game Time Week 11. With your boy, Big Q.
And your girl, Bernie Big.
This week's episode is brought to you just like every other week's episode by SatelliteDirect.com, live TV streaming on your PC or mobile device. Links to the website will be in the description box below. Okay? Alright, so now we got the bills paid. Talking about the serious thing, right? So I made all these crazy, wild accusations and predictions about me going undefeated last week. And then, right after we finished recording the show, we watched the game, and I lose the very first pick, right?
I mean, don't feel bad. My picks were terrible this week.
Right.
So overall, I was 6-10. You were 8-8.
8-8.
So
yes.
You're 60-45.
Right.
And I'm 64-41.
Back to 4 games back again.
4 games back.
I can catch you. Don't slip up. All right, so let's get into this wild week and see exactly what went down.
Okay, so game 1 Thursday night was Oakland at San Diego. Oakland got that.
Right, that's for us.
I don't know what's wrong with San Diego.
Yeah.
Okay, Detroit at Chicago.
Right.
Chicago got that. St. Louis at Cleveland. St. Louis.
Right.
Jacksonville and Indiana. I proclaimed this was the week that Indianapolis was going to win the game.
And I told you you were smoking.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So.
Jackson. Oh, we did that one. So Denver at KC.
Right.
Denver got that.
Denver got that one. That's the game where there's been a controversy all week about Tim Tebow and his 8 attempts with 2 completions. Right. Yeah. Still won the game. Exactly. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
We'll talk about
Pittsburgh at Cincinnati.
Right.
Pittsburgh got that.
Right.
Buffalo at Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas.
Yes.
The Bricks or Buffalo.
That's right. 44-7.
Yeah.
My boy Tyler Mender and his homegirl Helen, they actually got a chance to go to that game. It was Tyler's first chance. He's been a lifelong Dallas Cowboys fan.
Wow.
His first time getting to go to Jerry World, and he got to see an awesome game, with his favorite girl. Hey, congratulations, buddy, because I never, ever say nothing nice about the Dallas Cowboys ever again, okay? But I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. Move on.
Next game was New Orleans at Atlanta.
Okay.
That was the controversial.
Yes. Fourth and whatever. Yeah, they decided to run on their own 29. Awful.
Tennessee at Carolina.
Yeah. My boys, right? Terrible game.
That
Terrible
was bad.
Game. Yes,
I don't know what happened. Well, they scored 3 points in total.
Yeah, I think so. And then the Tennessee scored 14 points within the first 3 minutes of regulation play. Right? It's just bad business, right?
Arizona at Philadelphia.
Right. Ooh, another one that was worth talking about. The Philadelphia Eagles, man, they went down in a big old ball of flames, right?
They have no chance at the playoffs. No chance. Washington at Miami.
Right.
Miami got that.
Right.
Houston at Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Houston destroyed Tampa Bay.
Right. Yeah.
Baltimore at Seattle.
Right.
How did Seattle come away with this win?
Because I'm gonna tell you why.
Say so.
No, because Terrell Suggs had the boys balling way too hard. They was balling so hard that they forgot how to really ball. So
they got kicked out the university.
Right. So that was
Giants lost to the 49ers,
right.
But it was a good game.
Yeah.
New England at New York Jets.
Right. Yeah.
New England got that.
Yeah, that game actually, going into that game was a lot of hype behind it. And I actually was wanting I actually really wanted the Jets to win.
Me too.
A little disappointed when they didn't pull that one out. So.
And then the last game was Minnesota at Green Bay.
Right. Yeah.
Green Bay.
Yeah, right.
We knew that.
And so, with that, we roll right into the fantasy leaders, fantasy performers from last week.
How did you do with your personal fantasy?
Really? You know what I'm saying? I got like a 38 to like 111.
I lost by 1 point.
But because the picks was so, I don't know, nobody could have predicted that. You know what I'm saying? Nobody could have predicted that. So hopefully I do better.
set the wrong people.
Yeah, I'll do better this week, especially when I'm looking at these stats here. I'm looking at our quarterback fantasy performance from last week. Aaron Rodgers still at number 1. Tom Brady moving to number 2. Boy Cam Newton showed up at number 3. Your boy Eli, and then Tony Romo at number 5. Her running back Adrian Peterson, established himself at number 1 thing for the first time this year, I think.
Wow.
Right? Because the spot was being held by LaShawn McCoy and Matt Forte kept going swapping back and forth between 1 and 2. So this week, McCoy is number 2, Forte is number 3, Jones Drew is number 4, and Ray Rice at number 5. At wide receiver, we got Calvin Johnson, then Wes Welker, Greg Jennings, Larry Fitzgerald, and Brandon Marshall. And at tight end, you got Gronkowski, right? Antonio Gates, Jason Witten, Jermichael Finley, and Tony Gonzalez, right? The defense, which is always a weird list to look at because there's always different teams on it every week, right? You know how we're so used to seeing Rodgers as the #1, the quarterback, and you know, it's just stuff like that. Well, this week we got San Francisco 49ers, right, at the top of the list for most fantasy points last week. The Patriots, the Bears, Lions, and then the Jets, right? You know, so
a little all mixed up.
It was, right? So I don't know if you can kind of base your next week's fantasy lineup based on the performance from this week. It'd be kind of hard to say because it's kind of all over the place stuff at the quarterback position, right?
Right.
So speaking of quarterbacks, in the news this week, we got Tim Tebow, and his coach said some really, really cool stuff about him and his option spread offense. Said that, you know, like this offense was tailored for him, and if they chose to run a quote unquote, this is his words, normal offense, then they would be screwed. You know what I'm saying?
And he's right.
You think so?
Absolutely.
I 100% agree too. But I don't know.
If you throw the ball 8 times in a game and only make 2 completions, you cannot play as a regular quarterback. I mean, that's 2 throws per quarter.
It is, and as a matter of fact, ain't no way in the world. First of all, I don't understand how they pull this off, right? Because you can't do this in the NFL. You can't be passing the ball less than 20 times and still think you're going to win unless you got Adrian Peterson, Arian Foster, and LaShawn McCoy on your team. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I don't really get that. There's a big controversy about Tim Tebow and his playing style and how it's going to fit into the NFL going forward, right? And so a lot of people were talking about how they didn't think that he was going to make it as an NFL quarterback. I'm one of those people. Now, I'm a big Tim Tebow supporter. Don't get it twisted. I love the guy. I just think that in today's NFL, though, it just, you know, it just doesn't work. You know.
Well, I think it's going to work this season, but I think it's not going to work next season.
Right.
You know, we had discussions before when we talk about this, you know, Wildcat they were running a few years ago, and everyone's kind of caught off surprise by it. You know, and it was like really, people were like, "What, the Wildcat?"
Right.
The next year, the Wildcat wasn't working.
That's right. The Wildcat wasn't working.
Like, okay.
But you know how the Wildcat did stun a lot of people. You know, one that I can come to think of my mind is Bill Belichick.
Yeah. And how many times have you seen him stun?
Well, not that's the only time I can think of.
Exactly.
But, you know, and it was funny to watch because he had no clue what to do with that.
No answer for that Wildcat.
You know, and it's crazy. And I mean, I guess some people can get away with it for 1 game, maybe 2. I just think going after the second or third game, that just ain't gonna work.
He needs a quarterback.
Right. Absolutely. Then the other thing, Matt Sharp and his boys, they actually had a pretty hard-fought victory last week, but they lost Matt Sharp though. You know, which could potentially be a season-ending injury. As they have it right now, he is out for the season.
And they have Matt Leinart coming into the lineup.
Yes, Matt Leinart.
Which I think he needs to prove something. If he doesn't make it here with this chance he's been given as a starter, and he's was a first-round draft pick.
Yes.
I think his career is done.
Oh, absolutely. You know, just like last season, you know, he kind of put his foot in his mouth trying to pull the old Daniel Tomlinson move by talking about, oh, you know, this season I don't think he's going to be, you know, here. And, he, you know, and I'm telling you, they benched him. But here's the thing. This is the second chance for him to act like a first-round draft pick.
Right.
And actually, you know, do some stuff. I'm rooting for him. I want to see him succeed. Even though him in Sharp's shadow, I don't know how that's gonna play out.
And I would like to see the Texans do something. They're like one of the teams who have never been to the Super Bowl
and all
playoffs.
And all I got to do is hold on for 4 games to get Sharp back, and then if they can get Sharp back, that's the whole point. If they can get him back. So that was a little bit of news that we got. But the thing that we really want to talk about was where are we with our playoff picture right now? What does it look like? Right. So let's start with the NFC. Let's see what we got.
Okay, for the NFC East, you have the Giants at the lead, with Dallas 1 game behind, and then Philly and Washington tied at 3 and 6.
Right. So I don't know. This one could go. Well, I don't know. The Giants are looking for who was at the top again?
The Giants.
Oh, the Giants are at the top by 1 game, and their next opponent is Dallas. Well, it'll be interesting to see if Dallas can actually, you know, for lack of a better phrase, to grow a set and actually compete and see what's going on.
Well, I think the two might flip-flop. Because I know the Giants, they have a really tough schedule coming up, and they're not going to win their schedule out.
Right.
So Dallas really has to beat the people that they're
and nobody else there is actually really posing that much of a threat.
And
so
we play Philly this week, so we'll see.
Right.
Okay. The North is Green Bay at 9-0, which is definitely the winners. Detroit and Chicago are tied at 6-3.
Right.
And you have Minnesota at 2-7.
So, just taking Minnesota completely out of the picture,
right.
and then automatically giving the first round bye to Green Bay, that leaves a shootout, drag 'em out fight between Chicago and Detroit
for that wild card
spot. And I'm saying that one's gonna be interesting to see how that one play out. That's gonna be fun to watch.
Okay, so for the South we have New Orleans at 7-3.
Right.
Then 2 games back is Atlanta. Then Tampa is 1 game behind them, and then Carolina 2-7.
Right. So with the NFC South, man, and especially with the weird stuff that's going on in Atlanta, I'm thinking that with the way the division is set up, they pretty much given New Orleans a berth to the playoffs. So and that's cool because nobody really expected Carolina to do anything this year. I do think that next year though, and that's next year, but Carolina will definitely be competing for a spot in the playoffs. But
I think so.
So let New Orleans get this one.
Right.
Yeah.
And finally in the West, you have the 49ers at 8-1, and everyone else is just pitiful.
Right.
3-6.
Which we was talking about this, right? And I think that's probably like one of the worst divisions in the NFL.
It really is. If they actually beat Baltimore on Thanksgiving Day, they will clinch their division.
Right, but that's gonna be a hard game to do. Especially
the two brothers coming up against
each other. Well, that's gonna be one of the storylines. But the other thing is seeing how well Cincinnati does this week. If they can, if they can get past Cincinnati and then going into Thanksgiving Day game,
do you think Baltimore have a time with Cincinnati?
I do. I actually do. But this one is a gimme. So how do you now? A lot of people talking about how the division is just weak, but you got to still understand this though. San Francisco only lost 1 game, right? So a lot of and a lot of them people that they beat wasn't divisional rivals. I'm saying they were other teams, good teams.
Well, to me, the only really good team they beat was they beat the Giants.
Right, they beat the Giants. Yeah.
They beat the Eagles. They're not good. They beat Dallas. Dallas wasn't good at that time.
Right.
Who else have they beaten? They beat Detroit.
Right.
They're on a skid.
Right.
So
I'm just saying, those teams, they might not be they not the Green Bays and the New Orleans or the NFL, but still, them some still incredible teams though. I'm just saying.
I get that.
Right?
You know how I feel about the quarterback for the 49ers.
Right.
I think he's opposing.
Right. Well, I don't think that's necessarily all his fault. If his people name him certain things and they say he's elite and all that, he didn't say it. So you need to get off on him a little bit.
I'm just saying, I think that when it comes down to, he's not clutched yet.
Right. Not yet.
He's not clutched.
Not yet.
I'm waiting to see.
That works though. All right, let's roll over to the AFC and see what's popping.
Okay, so the AFC East is New England on top, then the Jets a game behind, tied with Buffalo, and then Miami at 2-7.
Right. So this one.
Who do you have coming out of the East?
This one is very tight. This one is real tight. This one can go anyway, but I think this one belongs to Buffalo. I think. New England done dropped a couple games to, some at that time underdog team. So
except for the Giants.
Okay, except for the Giants. Yeah, I'm talking about where they lost against Buffalo and they lost against the Giants and they lost against Pittsburgh, right? So
that's some tough teams though.
Well, Buffalo beat them. Buffalo picked off Tom Brady 4 times in that game.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So let's say they do that one more time, which they will do that one more time before the season is over. And the same thing happens. Then what? Then what we're looking at? We're looking at possibly we're not even making the playoffs.
Oh, no, that's not.
I'm just saying it's a possibility, especially with how tight that Buffalo
is.
No,
in the summer is a possibility.
Okay. I'm just saying. I'm putting my money on the Buffalo Bills. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
All right. That's your bandwagon pick.
That's my bandwagon pick. Yes.
That wheel is rolling.
Okay. All right.
The North is Pittsburgh 7-3, Baltimore and Cincy tied at 6-3, and Cleveland at 3.
Right. So this one is another one that I think is going to be actually real interesting to watch. Now, with Cincy and Baltimore only being back 1 game from Pittsburgh, and with Pittsburgh being having a quarterback who was kind of injury prone, he's a tough guy. He played with a busted nose and
make the playoffs.
Cincinnati will make the playoffs. Cincinnati gonna make the playoffs. I'm gonna tell you how they're gonna make the playoffs. They will make the playoffs actually this week when they bounce the Baltimore Ravens. And I'm saying no offense to my boy JB. I know how much you love Baltimore Hard University and everything, but this is gonna be the 2nd consecutive week that the Cincinnati Bengals, this young team is gonna be tested like this. And I'm saying, yeah, they didn't really lose that badly to Pittsburgh. And if they can, you know, especially the way the Baltimore Ravens play, you know, just up and down. We can play good this day, and we play awful this day. Let them play awful that day. Let them play awful that day and watch what happens.
Okay.
You know, that's what I'm saying. You know.
Let's move it to the top. Houston at 7-3 is 2 games ahead of Tennessee at 5-4.
Right.
And Jacksonville
That's
0-10.
Yeah, that's another division that's kind of, but it's weird to say this because like we're so used to Indianapolis just destroying everything in that division. It's just weird to see this, and it's kind of sad. But they gonna this one looks
get luck.
Yeah, but it looks good for Houston though. I mean, if they can,
good. I want to see Houston do
right, if they can survive this whole not having a quarterback for the next couple games, or possibly for the rest of the season, and you know, and if they do make the playoffs on Matt Leiner's arm. Can his arm take them to the Super Bowl? That's the question. You know, so we'll see those questions. We'll be answering here pretty soon.
Okay, so in the West, you have Oakland at 5-4.
Right.
And the last 3, San Diego, Denver, and Kansas City, all tied at 4-5.
So just when you thought that the NFC West was completely horrible, then you look at the AFC West, right?
What's with the West team?
I don't know, but these West Coast teams are awful, all of them. And I'm telling you, this one can go. Anyway, any one of those teams
really can win.
Can come out.
Imagine if Denver comes out of the
You know what? That would be the most ridiculous thing ever. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be.
It would be
crazy.
like last year when St. Louis came out. What was their record? Like 6-something.
Or Seattle just coming out there doing crazy stuff. It's weird, but you know what? Though it's hard to say because like Oakland going through a transition. They lost their quarterback. Which before Jason Campbell went down, everybody automatically had Oakland in the playoffs, and then Jason Campbell goes down, everybody automatically pulls him out. Then Carson Palmer shows up, and everybody like, they might be able to do this. Then we're looking at San Diego, where Philip Rivers can only lose. He can only lose so many games in a row before this dude loses his mind, right? And then you got Tim Tebow who's winning games like by magic or something. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Maybe it's the higher power. I don't know what it is, but you know what I mean. That's right. But they can win. They can win. And Kansas City again. That's another team that's just super explosive at any time. They surprise people. They come out of nowhere. I don't think people actually really ever prepared for Kansas City. You know, they can come out with Dwayne, but wait, you did say something about Matt Castle being out, right? Yeah, so that might be the thing, because then Dwayne Bowe might not be able to get off on it. So I don't know, but at the same time though, that team can do it at any given time.
They do have a pretty good explosive.
And with that division being so weak, man, I wouldn't be surprised at whatever team comes out. I just wouldn't, because it could be any one of them. You know what I mean? Okay,
right. I can't disagree with that. I wouldn't be surprised who comes out of the West.
Right.
That's the standard.
Right, that was good. I like that. And then, you know, and if y'all agree or disagree, I know a lot of y'all will disagree. Will agree with me and disagree with her. But it's a little box down there. Y'all can just put whatever you want to in there. You know what I'm saying? I'll make sure she sees it. You know.
Mr. Football Guru.
That's right, absolutely. So, speaking of me being a football guru, this is the part that everybody tune in to see every week. And y'all saw it. Y'all just heard about it earlier. I'm only 4 games back. And this is what we do it. Now, I know I made some bold statements last week. I ain't even gonna talk about going undefeated or nothing like that because that was crazy. But we're gonna get it in right here.
Okay. So on the bye this week is Texans, Colts, Saints, and Steelers.
Right. So which the Texans need this bye week, right?
They do.
Right. And I mean, Indianapolis they need to take anything they can get. Right. You know what I mean? So with the Steelers being around, I mean, ain't nobody gonna get really trounced like that. So this should be good. This should be an even playing field for everybody this week.
Okay, so the Thursday night game is the New York Jets at Denver.
Right. Yes.
I have the Jets.
You got the Jets. I gotta go to the Jets too.
Okay.
Because if I see some crazy stuff this week, especially some less than 10 passes being thrown by Tim Tebow, I'm telling you. We're going to have to do something different.
I think Reeves going to be playing Angry Birds on the side.
Playing Angry Birds on his iPad or something. Because he ain't going to get no work. He's going to be chilling, you know what I mean?
Okay. Carolina and Detroit.
Yeah, so I got to pick Carolina. I got to.
I'm going Detroit. They're at Detroit.
They're at Detroit, and I know, and Detroit plays well at home.
They really do.
They do, but the Carolina they need to get themselves back into a position where people can start respecting them again because they're losing a little bit of respect. They came out strong, and you know, even though they was losing games and stuff, people still respected their game.
Okay.
And so
Tampa Bay and Green Bay.
Right.
Dallas and Washington.
Well, based on Dallas' performance last week,
You have to go.
I'm gonna go with him. I'm gonna go with him. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna gamble on that one. And so that's one of those picks that I'm just not gonna afford to lose.
Okay.
Right, if it go the other way.
So I'm picking Dallas.
Oh, okay.
Buffalo at Miami.
Yeah, well, Buffalo. Because Buffalo, they trying to do it. They trying to squeeze out the Patriots.
Jacksonville at Cleveland. I'm going Cleveland.
You going Cleveland on this one?
Mm-hmm.
No. I'm gonna go with the Jaguars. I want to see Morris Jones-Drew. Actually, he made my list of running backs this week. So I'm thinking I'm going that momentum there. And maybe Blaine Gabbert can get it going. We'll see. Yeah.
Oakland at Minnesota.
Yeah, this one belongs to Oakland. Now, here's the thing, right? So Carson Palmer, he kind of shut me up a little bit because he did play well, and the young receivers seem to like him. Jacoby Ford, Jacoby Ford, he doing pretty good. I think he did have he went down in that game, but he came back. So they're looking pretty good in Fadden. They look strong enough to win this one easy, right?
Tennessee at Atlanta.
Yeah, so
I'm going Atlanta.
You going Atlanta, even though like.
They're playing at home, which they generally play well, and they only lost by 3 points in a stupid overtime call.
But Coach Mike Smith is on some powder or something, man. I don't know what's wrong with him.
So you picking Tennessee?
No, I'm picking Atlanta.
Cincinnati at Baltimore.
At Baltimore, that's the game. That is the game, right? So I'm going Cincinnati because I feel like Cincinnati they gotta do it. If they lose to Pittsburgh, then lose to Baltimore, ain't nobody gonna take them seriously.
I'm picking Baltimore.
Okay, well,
I
we'll see how
think
this one goes.
the university's back up and running.
You think so?
Yeah.
No, I think they done bought a little bit too hard. I think they had a game.
Seattle at St. Louis.
Really?
I'm only picking St. Louis because they're at home.
Right, but I'm picking Seattle because St. Louis is just bad. Yeah.
Arizona at San Francisco 49ers.
Right, so that's what the San Francisco 49ers, right.
Then you have San Diego at Chicago.
Right. Chicago. Right.
Philly at New York Jets. You know where I'm going. I mean Giants. I'm picking the Giants.
Yeah, and I'm picking the Giants not because I did believe in Eli last week, and did he let me down?
He lost.
Yeah,
I don't think he let you down. He just happened to lose the game.
Oh, that's what that was.
Yeah.
But I believed in him.
I believe in him.
And, I was following the little trending topic, believing in Eli. I was doing.
You still have to believe in Eli.
Okay, well, I'm believing in Eli this week only because I don't believe in Vic no more. You know what I'm saying? So.
Okay.
Well, they get Deshaun Jackson back this week, hopefully. Right? So,
the Monday night game, Kansas City at New England.
Yeah.
New England,
right.
Yeah.
Ooh, well, I'm telling you though.
That's the week.
I'm expecting a shocker in that one though. I'm picking in New England, but
because you have good sense.
But I'm expecting a shocker though. I'm just saying I'm not ruling it out.
Okay.
I'm not ruling that one out.
At New England.
At New England, I'm just saying. Well, think about the games they lost. They lost at home. You know what I'm saying? So. Here we go. That is, right? Mm-hmm. So, I'm going to tell you another thing that I'm right about because I'm a football guru, right? I'm right about the fact that our Twitter page, our Twitter account, that has 2,000 followers thanks to these people right here. Right, 2,000 followers. Thank you, everybody, for doing that and staying up with us. And people like at the Real Simba and at the 2704 King, Brandon Black. Thank you guys for retweeting and getting my message out there. I owe a lot to y'all guys. The other thing, our YouTube page, the one we're watching right now, 1,100 subscribers, right? Wow. That is awesome. Thank you guys for everything.
Thanks for tuning in to me.
Oh, yeah.
I know it's not to see him.
Anyway, the Facebook page, that's only about 3 weeks old, right? It's only 3 weeks old. And this is your baby. 1,200 Facebook pages, right? Thank you guys. Thanks for everything that y'all doing here. So we're gonna kick it to our sponsor, SatelliteDirect.com. What is it? Streaming live TV on your PC or mobile device with a 30-day free trial, right? I'm messing it late. That's why I'll never get paid. Right? So links to the website will be in the description box below. I'm Big Q, right?
I'm Bernie B.
And I'll catch y'all guys next week. Y'all have a good one. Peace. All right. So